Hello, welcome back to episode. So musicians are poor, and here's why. And so today's episode is a little bit different. So I'm not gonna, do vlogging today, and it's kind of a different content because I would love this platform to be a little bit more to have a little bit more variety, and also to actually discuss some matters that which matters to me in the art world. So recently, one of my friend has told me about a very horrible performance experience that he has experienced. So he is a very great pianist, concert pianist, and a great artist. So he performed a charity concert recently. He was invited by this charitable organization, which is they're doing really well, and for him to play a full recital. So, what is a full recital? Let me explain. So, normally, you have one piece that lasts maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So full recital, actually, it's around 90 minutes, sometimes even more, and you do have 45 minutes, and then you have an intermission, and then you play for another 45 minutes. So that's what he did. And he went to prepare for this recital for months and months. And he really, practiced a lot every day, hours. Togo is saying hello. He's underneath the chair, but you can't really see him. And so by dedicate so much time and effort. But what he didn't do is, I think he was like many of us. He was very shy to this. He was very shy to establish. Um, okay, bye Togo. So he was very shy to establish his boundary and also name his price. And instead, he was hoping, expecting the organization would pay him after the concert a reasonable fee for his preparation, also hard work. Um, so the thing is, he didn't ask and they didn't give. So at the end of the concert, and it was a beautiful concert, it was a beautiful concert. He played so well and everybody enjoyed. And the people from the organization just came to congratulate him and then say thank you so much. Here is a Christmas cake. Yeah, I'm gonna draw this cake here. So they gave him a Christmas cake, which probably, I don't know, worth like €10, and for his dedication for this whole recital. Um, I don't know how to think about that. I'm still processing it, to be honest. It's not about doing charity things. It's about um also your dignity, and also how people treat artists, how people actually treat musicians. And most people don't know in this world that we are actually very poor. um that means, if we don't have a second job, we cannot be we cannot be doing what we're doing unless you have a super wealthy family, or you have a very supported family who can financially really support you. And I do have friends who are fortunate to have a very wealthy family, so they don't need to worry about anything, and they can just focus on their art, which is amazing. But a lot of us don't have that. So we have to take a second job. So for me, my main job is pianist, but my second job is teaching. So without teaching, I can't survive. I can't survive. And that's just I have to be very honest. Um so that makes me think, about, the reason why musicians, artists are poor. I think, since the Renaissance, and artist has been regarded as this, dedication, just to, give everything for love, for art. No money should be involved because money somehow makes art sounds dirty and downgrade the purity of art, the essence of art. And this kind of mentality, it is still affecting us now. And so, a lot of my friends, I asked around, I was like, I want to know somebody who is actually in my circle, who is not afraid of name their price. Very, very few. Like, majority of my friends who I graduated with and or who I, met later on in life, they actually, you know, uh 99% of them has a second job, or even, some of them are just struggling like a basic survival. They are struggle for their basic survival, a daily survival. And it I think it is, this mentality of art is so, priceless, and you can give your life to it, which is beautiful. I was taught like that. I grew up in the environment, in all my, education. I studied piano. I studied piano in so many different continents and countries, different culture, and with great, great teachers. They are wonderful maestros. And everybody taught me the same, love principle and beauty of music. Nobody taught me how to make money. Nobody even mentioned about money. Nobody mentioned about how to fish, how to survive, how to live as an artist. So I had to figure out by myself, and which is, it's a long journey. I'm still trying to figure out. And that also, made me think. That also made me ask questions. So I asked, um, my non musician friends, non artist friends. They were extremely surprised when they find out that, we're actually poor. We don't have money. And most of them thinking that I am doing really, really well. You must get a lot of pay for your concert. And the answer is no. Sometimes I have to pay for the concert from my own pocket. I have to pay for the ticket because I wanted exposure. I wanted to be seen, and the other party cannot afford me, and I have to do that. And this is very common, um, even now. So one of my friends, she's also a wonderful pianist, but she had to fly to Ukraine during the war twice to play concerts, to play, with orchestra. It's a beautiful cause, and then she played beautifully, and the audience are so wonderful. It is a beautiful cause, but the price is also, it's risky, and it is a long journey, and she doesn't get any pay. She has to pay everything from her own pocket, only because she couldn't get, performance job in her current city. I mean, she can't get enough to support, her artistic life. And so her agent came up with this, idea that why don't you, kind of go somewhere to kind of give yourself more exposure in the places like this. And I mean, she did a beautiful job. And I saw her interview. It was, even though I don't understand um, Ukrainian, but it's just very, very touching, to see how people cherish this chance to listen to classical music. Um, it's a very difficult life, and I think most of us don't talk about it enough. And also, I asked around my, my artist friends. I did a, like a really thorough research, and I talked to each one of them, and everybody come up with similar answer. Don't know how to name our price. Don't know how to ask. Including me when I teach, I don't know how to, um, increase my price. So, and I feel like bad. And also there's a kind of psychology inside that one of my friend told me that she is worried that she named the price and the other side say no, somebody else did it for free. And why do you even have to charge? And you should do it for free. Yeah, the art should be free if there's enough people supporting us. If there is, I'm sure if practicing, we get paid from practicing, I'm sure each one of us will practice days and hours, just to perfect the craft. And also, this fear of asking price, asking to establish yourself, thinking that, oh, maybe I'm too snobbish if I name my price, and then I'm not a real artist, and then I will have no opportunities. Um, yeah, I don't know when is it gonna be an end to this, and then we have to find a solution because it's very difficult to survive, and then everything's getting so much more expensive. And and not I did some research that not many people are talking about this, and I don't understand why. We have this social media platform, like, how many of platform we have, and very very little people are talking about this. So, and most people just talk about, like, oh, bring love, you must give your everything, give your passion. It is not about passion, it's about, the basic survivals. And passion is just part of it. And the rest is the realistic side, that you still have to eat, you have to drink, you have to, dress, you have to live with dignity, right? Um, as for my example, so I've had a very interesting encounter with a very famous artist, and that I actually worked with. So I can't say too much because I still respect him and his family, and I can't say what he does. So I went to work for him. I went to work with him in this country, and at that time I was very very poor. I had no money, and he and his family they were kind enough to help me with this project that I was working on. And then we had a wonderful time. Absolutely adored his family and him, until today. And we kept on, emailing each other, updating about, life. And then my situation started to change. So I got more students. I got, more jobs. So my financial situation improved. So I was posting on social media, and what I didn't expect that he was holding, grudge against this my well-being, financial well-being. And he wrote me an email telling me that he thought I was a poor true artist. But apparently I'm not, because I had money to go travel. I had money to go on holidays. And that still hurts until now. Whenever I'm thinking about the situation, it still hurts me. It still haunts me. I was like, wow, like why do we condition ourselves as poor means good. Poor means you can produce good art. Once you live comfortable. Once you live comfortably, then your art means nothing. Is it true though? I don't think so. So, with all those limited beliefs, I think it gives more. Um, yeah, it just gives more. it put us into those corners, and we can't we can't, with those limited beliefs, it put us into corners that we can't fully express ourselves. And especially, I think, we as an artist, we should have a very healthy relationship with money, with with material. It's not like we have to, everybody has to be materialistic, but living in this world, in this very fast paced world, we do need a comfortable life in order to create. And I've seen also many of my friends that giving up music because there's no, they can't, they can't afford their family. They have to, they're especially if they're the breadwinners, and that's just put extra stress on their lifestyle. So actually, one of my friend, he became an IT, technicians, because he can't afford his family anymore. So, and he has a baby. And also, one of my friends, she's a wonderful pianist, and she also had to give up for similar reasons. And which is very sad, because all of us dedicate, you must know, if you are a musician or artist or dancers, we dedicate hours since we were babies, every day of our life to perfect our skills, to practice, to prepare for competitions, for concerts, for performances. And although I know that the opportunities are very limited, but that doesn't kill our passion, love for music, for art. We just keep fighting, but at the same time, how can we be sustainable? I hope this is a topic that can relate to you if you are an artist, or if someone who is interested to know the truth. Because I think only by talking about it, I think that's the first step for people to know what it's really like to be an artist, or to be, a freelance artist. And I also hope that if you have any comments, that your stories, please, do share with me, do comment below. And if you like this kind of a little chat moment, and I'm also very happy to do it. I do feel a little bit weird, because normally I do this only in my podcast. But yeah, it's something that it bothers me for a long time. And then everybody was like, "Go, Ella, you have to talk about it. Talk about it." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna, let me be your voice if you allow me." So I thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon.